Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just got done drafting a few underdog teams and ready to go through and look at a dynasty startup. We got pick 3. I may or may not have given it to ourselves. I may or may not have hand-picked it because it's really easy to make a good team from there. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and let's fire this bad boy up. And as we do, of course, if you have not done so already, please go down there, drop a like on this live stream, subscribe to the channel if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football. And if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football and want to get into drafts with us on the live stream like this, make sure you go sign up for flogfantasy.com. Over there, you're also going to get all of my Dynasty rankings, where if you look at my Dynasty rankings right now, Jalen Hurts will be our pick at 3. And you're going to get all the rankings of your favorite Dynasty Fantasy Football creators. Use promo code FLOCK. That way you can get an access to yours truly breaking down your Dynasty Fantasy Football team in a podcast. And on top of that, 30% off any subscription. But yeah, so far, super standard, right? Not a single surprise here. Maybe you say it's a surprise that Lawrence goes ahead of Justin Herbert. Personally, I would probably prefer to have Justin Herbert over Lawrence, but I think it's kind of just a personal preference there. But thank you so much, everybody coming out and hanging out with us. Super happy to see y'all out here. Okay, now we have Bijan Robinson going off. So honestly, this is so close to how I would have it ranked. I mean, after the top 6 quarterbacks, I would have it Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, then Bijan Robinson. Anthony Richardson off the board at 10. So obviously Richardson has had a ton of hype, not only in underdog drafts, but also in dynasty rookie drafts. You are seeing him go above Justin Fields here, above Lamar Jackson, above Deshaun Watson. That's crazy in my mind, okay? Like, there are a decent amount of leagues that, I mean, I went through and took a look at our roster and we had Justin Fields on it, right? I mean, I know that maybe surprises some people. And we went through and in all of those leagues, I sent out an offer to trade away Justin Fields. But what I sent the offer for is I sent it as Justin Fields for the 101. I would sell Justin Fields for Bijan Robinson, but I would still much prefer having Fields than Anthony Richardson at the pick 2. I mean, so interesting to see him go this early. And then Bryce Young followed it up ahead of CeeDee Lamb, ahead of Kyler Murray. Garrett Wilson goes there in the middle of the second. I really like the Garrett Wilson and CeeDee Lamb selections there at the middle part of the second round. We are going to be stuck in a little bit of no man's land here at the 210. Sam says Richardson Cousins is in the draft. That's why he went that high. Honestly, maybe it makes sense. Maybe it's his father. But Marker Word coming out here says 101. Let's smash that like button. Yeah, we have over 100 people out here. If you have not done so already, hit that like button. But thank you so much for everybody coming out to hang out with us. Now, I know what we're going to do if we are on the clock at pick 10. There are 2 guys I'm looking at here. 2 plays, maybe 3. We'll throw in a third. No. We're not throwing in that third guy. I don't know. We'll see. Amon-Ra St. Brown goes to the 208. Amon-Ra St. Brown is definitely someone we were thinking about taking at the 210. Honestly, that was like the guy that I had my eyes on, but Breece Hall goes, and now that Breece Hall goes, we will take CJ Stroud. I understand a lot of people are saying, oh, Mason, CJ Stroud doesn't have the same upside as Anthony Richardson, as Bryce Young, as blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Stroud in that. If you're looking at how the teardrops are with wide receivers, with running backs, with quarterbacks, if Stroud can go out there and have success early on, this can be someone that moves up to be a late first round, early second round pick. If you're looking at like Jahmyr Gibbs as an example, look at how many running backs. Oh my gosh. Our guy, Chris Olave, goes off the board. I thought we were going to get Chris Olave on the way back around. That's disappointing that we don't. Jahmyr Gibbs goes now. God, it's tough drafting against y'all. We'll go ahead. We'll take JT. I don't know what we should do here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think this is a difficult spot. I thought we were going to be able to get Jalen Hurts, CJ Stroud, and Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts, CJ Stroud, and Chris Olave through the first 3 rounds. I mean, I'm fine going JT. I just really like going with the players where we could look to build now or we could look to build for the long term. We can either take it in, and we can take it in either direction. Okay, Devonta Smith goes, can y'all let me know who would you rather have? Would you rather have Smith or Taylor? Sports nutritionist says, save yourself from Olave. I really like Olave. I don't know how I would be saving myself from Olave. I'd love to build around him. Please let me know if you think we should be going with Taylor or Smith there. Sam says Diggs over Devonta Smith and Taylor. My friend, I don't know if you know what Dynasty is, but Stephon Diggs is 30 years old. We have Smith all day, JT, Smith, JT. I know Smith, JT or London. Dak over Stroud. Grady says, oh, shoot, you have Jalen Hurts. You know what? You're probably right. If we have Jalen Hurts, we honestly should probably break the tie and go through and get that stack and bring in Devonta Smith here. You're probably right in that a vacuum we can have JT ahead of Smith, but whenever we start Jalen Hurts in the first round, I think y'all are right. I think we should go Devonta Smith. Yeah, that's what Sparrow says. Sparrow says Smith for the stack. Now, Walker goes 309. I am not going to lie to you. I really do not like the Kenneth Walker selection. Kenneth Walker was a top 5 running back for me in Dynasty, but to see the Seattle Seahawks go through and invest into a running back in the second round of this year's draft, the running back that checks pretty much every box that we're looking for, I'm sorry. They're like Kenneth Walker, maybe we would have taken him at the end of the 4th round, but I can't be taking Kenneth Walker in the 3rd anymore. I can't do it. Now, real quick, let me point out, I know y'all have seen us probably getting in Underdog drafts every single day on the live stream, but Underdog also has this live bet for everybody for the game this Sunday between Philadelphia and Boston. So I know y'all are probably all on Underdog already, so go take advantage of it. If you're not, use promo code FLOCKED and you'll get a 100% deposit match, and you can hop into drafts with us pretty much every single day on the live stream. Y'all know we drafted over 700 teams and won over 150,000 on Underdog last year, but just make sure you're taking advantage of that. Now, we have Tua going off the board at the beginning of the 4th. Love the Tua pick. I mean, I would much prefer Tua over Kenneth Walker, if I'm going to be honest. Okay. Yeah, Sam out here saying that Stephon Diggs is going to be putting up Jerry Rice / Tim Brown type seasons in his late 30s. I don't know if you're trolling. I don't know if we should actually respond to that, but let's pull this up. Tim Brown, the last season he had 1,000 yards, was 2001. We're talking about things that happened over 20 years ago. You know how much of an outlier that is? And we were trying to project that onto someone? I don't know. That's just crazy. Now, Jacobs goes 405. Okay, there's one player I have in mind right now. DK Metcalf off the board. Christian Watson goes, really like the Christian Watson selection. There's one guy that I have my eyes on. I need to go to Flock. Let me pull up flockfantasy.com. What the hell am I doing? I literally have my rankings loaded up where we don't have to be looking at sleeper ADP. We can literally just be looking at our own Dynasty rankings. Okay, TJ Hawkinson goes. Hawkinson was who we were looking at. Really was wishing that we had TJ Hawkinson there. Great pick with Hawkinson and Christian Watson. Okay. Daniel Jones goes. Good Daniel Jones selection. Okay, at quarterback. Garbage. Running back, garbage. We'll take Tyreek. We'll go with Tyreek Hill. I mean, the man right now is being drafted as like a top 4 wide receiver in redraft leagues. He is younger than the other options. Like if we're going to look at Tyreek Hill, I believe, just turned 29, whereas Stephon Diggs turns 30 this year. Cooper Kupp was actually drafted in 2017, but also turning 30 this year. So we'll take Tyreek. There are a couple different other wide receivers we'd be looking at. Stephon Diggs goes. Let me see where we have Tyreek in our rankings. Devontae Adams goes. Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp. So you have a run on those veteran tight ends. Yeah, so I have Tyreek Hill 35 in our rankings. So we are getting some massive Tyreek Hill value there if you trust the rankings on flockfantasy.com now. Andrews is long gone. Yeah, going back to Kenneth Walker. I have Kenneth Walker at 45 in our rankings. Pittman goes. So do we pivot over and do we take a rookie here? So the guys that I have highest in my rankings at this point are going to be players like Jerry Jeudy, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, Najee Harris. I'm going to go ahead and take Najee Harris here. The reason being is when we take Jonathan Taylor round 3 and Tyreek Hill round 4, I feel like we do put ourselves in a position where we want to take a little bit more of a win now approach rather than a long-term build. So maybe if we would have started a little earlier, going with, say, Jackson Smith and Jigba over Jonathan Taylor or Drake London over Jonathan Taylor, I think we would have definitely taken either Jerry Jeudy, Quentin Johnston, or Jordan Addison. Like if I'm going to look at where I have these guys ranked, we have them all literally pretty much back to back to back. I think it's more so just going through and trying to fit the overall roster. And when you take Taylor and Tyreek, you really have to kind of commit to actually trying to win this game now. Now we have Treylon Burks going off the board here in the middle of the 5th. JCM says, Jeudy fade is too much in my opinion. Still a borderline cornerstone asset that should produce this year as well. Can I ask y'all a question? Would you rather have Jerry Jeudy or Tyreek Hill in Dynasty? I want to, because I see a lot of people in the chat saying that they want Jerry Jeudy. So how high are we taking this? We have over 200 people out here. Can we get everybody spamming the chat, get 200 messages? Okay, let's see what people are saying. Hill, Jeudy, Hill, Jeudy, Hill. Hill, Jeudy. Okay, so it looks like most people are saying Tyreek Hill over Jerry Jeudy in that instance. Can we go down a bit here? What about Jerry Jeudy versus Stephon Diggs? Okay. Spam the chat. Are you going Jeudy or Diggs? I just want to see how high y'all think we should be taking Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Lewis says Jeudy, Crab Ninja, Judy's 23. Diggs, Jeudy. Diggs, Jeudy, Diggs. Jeudy, Diggs. So Diggs. Looks like most people are taking Diggs, but we're getting closer. That's like 60-40 rather than with Tyreek. It was like 70-30. What about this one? Let's go down one more down the line here, baby. Let's go Devontae Adams versus Jerry Jeudy. Who are we taking there? Just going to go one down the line. Adams or Jeudy? Please spam the chat. Let me know what y'all are doing. So far, the veteran wide receivers have won this every time, but it looks like it's getting closer. Okay. Jeudy, Adams. Jeudy, Adams. How old is Adams? Adams was drafted in 2014. I believe he's 30, pushing 31. Jeudy, Adams, Jeudy. Adams, Judy. Adams is too old. Judy. JCM says Judy again. So it looks like that's where the line probably is. Looks like most people would rather have Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs over Jerry Judy. But then when you get to Davante Adams, it looks like people are taking Jerry Judy there. We still definitely have a lot of people preferring Adams. I think it probably depends on how the rest of your roster looks. But I mean, if we were having to go through and figure out that call, I don't know. Now, we have Nick Chubb, Dameon Pierce, Ramondre Stevenson all off the board. Love the Dameon Pierce value. I mean, if Dameon Pierce would have made it to us in the 6th, I'd have been very excited about it. Okay, so now let's pull up our rankings, figure out what we're doing next. Okay, there's a player that I am thinking of. We'll see if he falls. Okay, so best available according to ADP. Now, keep in mind, this is sleeper ADP. Sleeper ADP is not known to be the best. Javonte, Swift, Pollard, Henry, Kittle, Godwin, DJ Moore, Joe Mixon, Dallas Goedert, J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin, McLaurin, Russ, Freiermuth, Ayuk, Rachaad White, Will Levis. Okay. I think I know what we're doing. Just wanted to confirm. Okay. We have two guys pretty much neck and neck. I think we're going to take one of them. We may end up getting both guys. We may end up getting both. So the guy that we're going to take here is going to be Russell Wilson. With Russ, no idea if he's any good. Clearly he was not good last year. You get the coaching upgrade. You should have better weapons with a healthy Jerry Jeudy, a healthy Courtland Sutton, a healthy Tim Patrick, a healthy KJ Hamler, a healthy Javonte Williams, at some point, 2nd round Marvin Mims as well. So I don't know if Russ is any good, but what I do know is this is a quarterback that has the contract where he is a guaranteed starter for a very long time. And on top of it, he does have a better situation this next year with Sean Payton and the improved supporting cast compared to where he was at this past season. So we'll go ahead and we'll take Russ here. And honestly, we may get our second guy on the way back around. Okay, yeah, we get our second guy on the way back around. We are going to go ahead, and it looks like a reach according to ADP, but I think he's a strong value here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take Geno Smith. With the addition of Jackson Smith and Jigba, if we are in a spot where Geno Smith is now throwing to DK Metcalf, JSN, and Tyler Lockett, it's a vastly improved situation from where he was a year ago. Obviously, Geno was a borderline top 5 quarterback in terms of overall passing volume a year ago. So we're going to go ahead and take both those guys. I think Jordan Love is 100% in play as well. But in general, if we're going to be looking at the quarterbacks in this range, like Russ, Geno, Jordan Love, in comparison to the running backs and wide receivers in DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Javonte Williams, J.K. Dobbins, I am 100% going quarterback here. I don't think those running backs or wide receivers in DJ Moore, Ayuk, Javonte Dobbins, in my mind, would ever be able to be traded for Russ or Geno in a regular 12-team Superflex league. Okay. Logo says, does Big Tim Patrick eat up Judy's touchdowns? Now, I actually was drafting a decent amount of Tim Patrick like in underdog drafts previously, and I thought that it was going to be a strong selection. Now, the issue with Tim Patrick is obviously they go out there and they grab Marvin Mims. When they add in Marvin Mims at that point, I think we have to be a little bit more concerned, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. Now, we have a couple tight ends going off the board with Goddard and Freiermuth. Love both of those picks. Bateman goes 7-10. Oh, that is early for Bateman. Who else is available still? There are a few different names I'd rather have over Bateman here. Yeah, Bateman goes before George Kittle and Dalton Kincaid in this draft. Interesting. Swift goes 7-11. Chris says, why are you drafting so many quarterbacks? This is super flex, my friend. Every dynasty startup we do will be super flex. Okay. Zach Charbonnet, 801. Jonathan Mingo, 803. Jonathan Mingo before George Kittle. Oh. Brutal. Ryder, my man, you're about to get muted. Jonathan Mingo and George Kittle finally off the board at the 804. You're looking at George Kittle pairing up with Travis Kelce. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you take Kelce there in the middle of the fourth. If Kittle falls to you that far, I think you have to pull the trigger on George Kittle. George Kittle may be the best pick so far. Okay, Mac Jones goes. Rashad White. What the hell am I supposed to do? That's the real question. Running back, you have... I see a name. I see a name at running back. And we just talked down on him as well on the main fantasy football channel. But here he's probably a strong value. I don't know if we gave it up, but we'll see. Godwin goes. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take Isaiah Pacheco here. With Pacheco, I think it's 100% a possibility the Chiefs decide to bring in another running back either this offseason or next offseason. But, I mean, if we're talking about just the price that you're looking at with these options, I think that price adjusted, Isaiah Pacheco is a pretty strong pick here. I think that in the vast majority of dynasty leagues, we should see him go a little bit higher than this. Okay. That is okay. It's just so weird. Usually this is like our first dynasty draft we've done in a while. And we've probably done 100 best ball drafts between the two. 100's an exaggeration, but maybe 50. It's like we're trying to shake out the redraft mindset and go a little more dynasty. I really like our team so far, though. Dalvin off. Do we go Deontay? We're going to go Deontay Johnson. We need a wide receiver. I don't love it. It kind of feels like it's whatever, but I mean, Hopkins is pushing 31. Keenan Allen pushing 31. Both these guys were drafted back in 2013. Mike Evans drafted back in 2014. I'd still probably rather have Deontay Johnson over someone like Josh Downs, Marvin Mims. I don't know. We need another wide receiver, and I think it's a fine selection. I don't want to sit here and act like it's the best pick in the world, but I think it's a fine pick. Okay. Chris says, Mason, what is the player you have drafted the most all-time ever? A very interesting question. I would say from a dynasty rookie draft perspective, back in 2020 when Antonio Gibson, like right at the very beginning of rookie drafts, was going in the third round, I pretty much added Antonio Gibson in every single league, which obviously hindsight being 2020 doesn't look that smart now. But at one point, Antonio Gibson was worth a first round pick. Like as a third rounder, I think it was a very strong selection. I'm trying to think a little bit further back. 2014, I took so much Brandon Cooks, it wasn't even funny. But that was so long ago, that was almost 10 years ago at this point, that I could be 100% wrong, right? Like whenever I'm thinking, oh yeah, we took Antonio Gibson in like every draft, it seems very real because it's recent. I don't know if I've just told myself that Brandon Cooks story for so long now, it may not even be true and I'm just lying to myself, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, we took Brandon Cooks a ton in 2014. I want to say that's the answer, but because it was almost 10 years ago, hell, maybe I took him in 2 rookie drafts, but he was just my favorite player in my favorite league, so it felt like I took him everywhere. Okay. Now, Tony goes off the board, 10:04. Okay, what are we supposed to be doing? There's a running back that I feel like is a quiet winner of the NFL draft. To be honest, what I would do if this was a real league is I would take Desmond Ridder. I would take Desmond Ridder and look to flip him during the season. But I don't want every one of these mock drafts turning into me taking 5 starting quarterbacks and everybody just being annoyed with me. Yeah, Desmond Ridder goes off the board 10:06. I think that's great value. But I think that there is a player that quietly won the NFL draft that we may want to take. Doesn't necessarily fit what this team needs. No, you know what? We're going to, quote unquote, draft based off a little bit of team need. Brian Robinson was the guy who I was thinking about taking at running back, but we're going to go ahead and we'll take David Njoku here at the end of the 10th. I understand it's a little rich for David Njoku, 100%. Not going to deny it. But David Njoku is someone that I really, really do like here. Dingy says, does the Flock site offer open spots in other Dynasty leagues? I know there are a lot of people in our Discord of the site that go and start Dynasty leagues together. I run a decent amount of Dynasty leagues, but I am not starting up any more Dynasty leagues this year. Darren Waller goes 10-12. Alvin Kamara 11:01. Okay, let me go ahead and show off this board. There is, I think my girlfriend's dad's here to drop something off, so I may have to cut this about 5 minutes early. I am so sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll make our next selection. I will try to make this up to y'all. I know that we were cutting off a little early here, but I will go ahead and fire up another draft very soon. We'll get an underdog draft going tomorrow, of course, but Mike Evans goes. Let's go ahead and let's take... We'll take Greg Dulcich. Who cares? We took Russ. We kind of need another tight end, but yeah, I'm sorry we're going to have to cut this a little early. I will be in the doghouse if I don't, but thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Really do appreciate y'all. Really hope you have a great weekend. And of course, if there's anything that I can do for you, please never hesitate to reach out to me and let me know, especially if there's any way that I can improve for you. But thank you so much for everything. Hope you have a great, great weekend and hope we get to see you with the video tomorrow.